The Life, Love, and Leadership podcast is a presentation of Marissa Q. Payne International, Dr. James Payne Speaks, and the Foundation for Successful Marriages with Rare Gem Productions. Learn more at successfulmarriages.org. And here are your hosts, the Dr. and the Mrs. Marissa Q. Payne and Dr. James Payne.
Welcome back to Life, Love, and Leadership with Dr. James and Marissa Q. Payne. I am Marissa Q. Payne.
And I'm Dr. James Payne, and we're super excited to have you tuned in for this best of episode of the Life, Love, and Leadership podcast.
Yeah, last week was kind of fun, yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely. I know this season has absolutely just flown by, right?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. So I was thinking about my favorite episode of all time, and I have to say, I go back to comparing us to Barack and Michelle Obama.
Okay.
As one of my favorites.
Got it.
So this is my favorite piece where we talked about Barack and Michelle. I have been catching up on Essence Fest because somehow I missed that my shero, Michelle Obama, was going to be there. So I was devastated about that. But I have been catching it on YouTube, and I was actually surprised to discover that we actually have a lot in common with the Obamas.
Wow. Okay. This is going to be real good.
I know. I don't know if you saw, well, you did. You saw or you heard when I was listening to it, right?
Yep.
Not necessarily that you watched it, but a couple of things stood out to me. So number one, she was not originally impressed by Barack Obama.
Which is crazy, right?
Just like I was not impressed by you. So I thought that was hilarious, right? We have that in common.
Okay.
They've been married, I think she said 26 years. So basically 2 clicks ahead of us, 2 years ahead of us. She's been very open about the fact that they've been to marriage counseling. And one of the things I loved about the interview that she did with Gayle King, she said, we don't tell the truth about the work that it takes to be married.
Wow.
And I was just like, same, right? I feel the same way, right?
Absolutely. No, I did hear the part she was talking about, people look at them and they think about the fist bump and they think about relationship goals.
Right.
And they look at Barack and Michelle and they're like, this is what the goal is.
Right.
But they have no idea in her own judgment, her own explanation of what that relationship is like and what they've had to do in terms of work to get it there.
Yeah. And she said she felt a sense of duty, right, to kind of share that it's not all glitz and glamour all the time, that marriages work. Something she said really struck me too. She said, we've learned how to argue. And I was just like, OMG, fight of the week, right? We are the same people.
Right. Okay.
I know how to pick a shero. You hear me? She is my girl.
Wow.
I loved it. They are almost empty nesters. They're pretty much empty nesters. We have so much in common. I think we should have them on the show.
I agree. So Barack and Michelle, if you're listening, we would love to have you on Life, Love, and Leadership. We think you could add great value to every point.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Yes.
The other thing I thought was interesting was, she talked about how he gets celebrated or he would be celebrated for changing a diaper. And it's like, oh my gosh, he's such a great dad or what have you. And she, meanwhile has been arranging daycare and scheduling doctor's appointments and handling the fevers and all of that stuff. And no one's like, oh, great mom, celebrating and applauding her. And it really brought me back to one of the reasons I fell in love with Michelle Obama. I will never, ever forget it. It was a defining moment for me. And this was when he was still Senator Obama and they were on the Oprah Winfrey Show when she was still having the Oprah Winfrey Show. So that tells you, how long ago this was. But Oprah was interviewing them and she went to Michelle and she was, and I didn't know who they were really at the time. But she went to Michelle and she asked her, she was like, what's it like to be with such a powerful force, of a man? And Michelle was like, well, Oprah, I work too, And I was like, Oh my gosh. I'm sure I was like in my laptop just kind of listening in the background and like my ears perked up and I had to stand at attention and look at I was like, who is this woman?
I remember that episode and I think the link, because Oprah perked up too. Her whole demeanor changed and it was crazy. And so Michelle was like, Oprah, I have a job.
Right. She's like, I'm like, queen. Yes, queen. And so, yeah, so that's what's been on my mind. I have just been like relishing in Michelle Obama at Essence Fest, even though I'm several weeks late, but I didn't get the memo. I'm sad about it, but, hopefully we'll have them on the show.
Yeah, hopefully so. And, she has sold, I think, over 12 million books.
Yeah, 12 million copies. Yeah.
And listen, we'd love
40 languages, translated into 40 languages.
Wow, that's incredible.
I know how to pick a role model. You hear me? Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible. But, the one thing, and it's almost a little embarrassing to say, but the first thing I noticed when I caught it on your computer screen was her hair.
Her hair.
I had never seen her hair down like that. I was like, is that Michelle?
Oh, wow. You're so precious.
Yes, the hair caught my attention.
She natural in all of her beauty and all of her glory, which I love.
I was like, Michelle Obama is like, she's a homegirl. Like, she's cool.
Well, you and hair, like, oh my gosh. I don't know how you all feel or what your partners are like, but do people like have trouble with their partners and their hair? Like, I don't necessarily do my hair based on your preferences, because if I did, I would still be like in a mushroom with my hair over my right eye and stacks on the side from basically what I looked like in high school.
No, we evolved from that.
You never you don't like any change. Like, you never like my new hair, whatever it is.
It takes a while to grow on me.
Right. And then when I change it, you're like, why did you change your hair? I'm like, you didn't like that hair. And it's so frustrating. I'm just like, I can't with you and hair. Like, so it doesn't surprise me that that's what you noticed, because it's different. And so, of course, that's the first thing you noticed, that her hair was different.
True story. True story. First thing I noticed. And then the second question was, do I like this?
Who cares?
Nobody.
Your hair is different, too.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you had to go there.
I'm just saying.
My hair is missing.
I think your hair is adorable.
Well, thank you. That means you think my scalp is adorable.
Don't say that. It's adorable. I love it.
We'll go with it.
And I love you.
I love you too, baby. Now, what was so special about that episode?
Well, of course, I love Michelle and Barack, but I don't know. There was something about the comparison of sort of, what we do and what they do that just made me feel like, yes, we're pretty cool and we're not alone. I think that's what this podcast is really intended to be about.
Sure.
I tell people all the time, our goal is to really show people real love.
Yes.
And when I say real love, I mean the kind of love that is like not the Cosby Show TV perfection love, but like our kind of love where you drive me crazy and Angry Chew and, fight of the week and all of that. And I think that knowing that Barack and Michelle also sort of represent that just made me feel okay.
Yeah, I think what I remember about that episode is them talking about going to marriage counseling.
Yeah.
And how that had played such a huge role in their relationship, because you look at them on television, you look at the fist bump, you see all that goes with being Barack and Michelle Obama, and you don't ever equate that there could be a problem in relating well together. But obviously, even they require maintenance.
I know. And we just sashayed our little selves back to counseling.
Why, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And we'll have future appointments as well. I think we have a maintenance plan again for everything in life. We just bought a new dishwasher. Praise God, because I was tired of washing dishes.
Oh, my gosh.
We just bought a new dishwasher, and it has a maintenance plan.
Oh, wait. The dishwasher.
Yes.
We bought a new dishwasher.
Uh-huh.
But there's dishes in the sink.
Because you haven't washed it yet.
So can we talk about, this is a diversion, but
clearly it's a diversion.
We talked about
what's in that cup you got over there?
Goals, not roles, right?
Sure.
And I asked you to be the person to be the dishwasher because I don't like washing dishes. You don't like washing dishes, but the dishes have to be washed.
Sure.
I cook if cooking happens. We all know you don't think it's enough, but if it happens, I'm the one that does it.
Yeah.
You are so predictable.
Thanksgiving and Christmas does not qualify you.
You can't say that
to
because
come on this podcast talking about I cook.
There have been at least 3 chicken pot pies mentioned over the course of season 1.
That's an exaggeration.
So you can't even say that.
Go back to the tape.
So if we both hate it and I asked you to be the one to do that, then how come there's dishes in the sink?
Number one, like I explained to you, just because you ask me to do it doesn't mean I'm in agreement and that it's going to go down that way. I don't like washing dishes. You don't like washing dishes. And so we are at a standstill on who's going to wash the dishes because I've asked you, you've asked me.
You didn't ask me. I asked you and you just refused.
I think I asked you as well.
So how is this going to get solved?
Well, I mean,
are we flipping a coin by the week? Like, what are we going to do?
So a couple things. I think the school break will be here soon. And we'll have our labor back.
Poor Painegang.
So I think that's how this is going to get solved.
That's terrible. I think we just talked about 2 episodes somehow. So, what did you think about having the kids on the show?
I thought having the kids on the show was terrible.
What?
I felt like the kids were absolutely awful.
Why? Why are you saying such a terrible thing?
I'm saying such a terrible thing because they said such terrible things.
Holiday edition. We thought we would let you in. Okay, so Jordan, do you listen to the podcast?
I do not.
Have you heard 1 episode of the podcast?
I have not.
Okay, so oldest son is traumatized emotionally, don't mind telling the world about it, and does not listen to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, empty nest-ish. Just wanted to let you know that. Okay, so since you don't listen to the podcast, and apparently you don't want to learn the nuggets that your parents have about life, love, and leadership, let me ask you directly. What do you think you've learned about life, love, or leadership from your parents?
My parents have a very, I'll just use this podcast for an example. Like they see something they want to do and they just do it. And I think that is great.
Make shift happen. Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like my parents have a really bad habit of turning every conversation that they have with us, finding a way to twist it into a life lesson. So all the nuggets and all the lessons that you guys are getting, I've been hearing them since I could comprehend the English language. So it's not, I don't really feel like I need to listen to the podcast, but it's got some good nuggets in there, I'm not going to lie.
So you feel like you've lived the podcast?
I literally was there for every story on the podcast.
Okay.
I don't think you answered the question, though. The question was, what have you learned from your parents about life, love, or leadership? What's one thing you've learned from us about life, love, or leadership? Pick a topic.
Okay. I think the leadership one is the most easily identifiable. Like Jordan said, I feel like you guys both are very on your grind and just doing whatever you want. I remember back in my childhood when you were starting, what was it way back then? The pain-free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever, so many meetings at the Olive Garden, it would be me, mom, and dad sitting at dinner, and they'd pull out their business plans, and I'd just sit there. I was 10 years old, coming up with marketing strategies where I had no business
on a
in
napkin.
The conversation, but I just always seen that grind and that push to make your dreams come true.
Got it. Joshua.
Young Josh, what you got?
When I first heard that my parents were starting a podcast about their marriage, I was like, they're not qualified.
I already knew this was going last.
And then I listened to a couple of the episodes, and I was justified in my thinking.
Oh!
Like, they were explaining, like, how, like, they became a couple, and, like, how Dad came with the approach, and, like, all this intricacies, and I was like, there's so many times this relationship should have died. So I don't know if it's for the best or the worst that I learned to just kind of stick with it. Because, like, there were red flags. There's some real red flags there.
Yes.
And they went ignored. And, you know, it worked out for you.
This time. It worked out this
But
time.
will it
This
work
is
out every
fascinating.
time?
So, less intense topic. Favorite holiday traditions. Are you excited about Thanksgiving? And if so, what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about the moment when my sweet potatoes and my mac and cheese touch for the very first time on my plate.
You don't like your food to touch.
Except for the sweet potatoes and the mac and cheese. The combination, the flavors. That is my favorite holiday tradition. And I wish I was one.
All right.
I would say I'm excited. I was most excited to see Josh and Joel. I haven't seen them in a while. So
Welcome back. Yes.
check.
So, seeing family, the food.
I'd like to state for the record, I'm, like, not particularly excited.
You're not excited about the holiday?
Well, I don't particularly care about Thanksgiving. Like, it's cool to see the family. I was telling a lot of people, I was like, I'm very excited that I get a break. I don't particularly care that it's Thanksgiving break.
Okay. Interesting.
So,
So, what's your favorite holiday?
you know, like, I don't really care about holidays like that. I made a whole YouTube video talking about why I hate each holiday.
We called you Eeyore growing up.
Yeah.
For a reason.
That's kind of, you know, if I did have depression, that would be problematic. So.
Hubby.
That's the worst answer I ever heard in my life.
Holiday tradition. So that was just from a couple of weeks ago, the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah. Joshua talking about someone. I think about my parents doing the counseling. I said,
Oh.
are they qualified? And then I listened and I said, my fears were confirmed. Yes.
So what didn't you like about that?
So I think what I didn't like the most about it is he was just so dry.
What?
His comments were just so dry. Like, they didn't really bring their best selves to the show.
Interesting.
Like, I felt like we forced their hands to be on the show.
I don't know why you think that was terrible. I think they were just honest and being themselves, which is exactly what we want. We show real love, right? So real love and real parenting is your kids get on and tell the truth. That's what kids do. That's what they're for.
Hey, there's a such thing as honesty, and then there's a such thing as cruelty. My kids are cruel. My kids are cruel. So
I don't think they're cruel. I think they were telling their truth, and they have the right to do that. I loved having them on. I think we should do it more often.
Maybe once a year.
All right, folks. So we're going to call that a show. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying our best of. And if you are, will you please share it with someone? We want to bring on new listeners before we start season 2. And this is a great way for them to get introduced to the show.
We look forward to continuing the conversation on Facebook or Instagram.
As always, send us your questions, feedback, comment to successfulmarriages.org. And we will talk to you in social spaces.
See you. Bye.
This is Life, Love, and Leadership. The Life, Love, and Leadership podcast is a presentation of Marissa Q. Payne International, Dr. James Payne Speaks, and the Foundation for Successful Marriages. Connect with us. Find us and follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To learn more about our guests, show notes, services, events, or to get involved, visit successfulmarriages.org. Life, Love, and Leadership is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.